हमारी दोस्त यहाँ हमारी साथी। मैं सच में सोचती हूँ कि कानपुर के चमनगंज में पढ़ने लिखने वाली एक छोटी सी बच्ची जो सुबह शाम दुआ मांगती थी कि अल्लाह ताला या तो मेरे ख्वाब को बदल दो या मेरे हालात को बदल दो, क्योंकि जिस तरह के हालात थे ख्वाब अलग थे, और अगर ख्वाब देखती थी तो हालात दिखते थे, आमने सामने के जो हालात थे लगता था इनमें तो कोई तालमेल नहीं है। तो ये दुआ थी मेरी कि अल्लाह ताला मेरे ख्वाब बदल दो प्लीज़ या फिर मेरे हालात बदल दो। तो इसीलिए मेरे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है ऐसी एक जगह, ये एक सेक्रेट स्पेस है मेरे लिए। जब आप सब लोग आते हैं, एजुकेशनिस्ट, प्रमोटर्स, चांसलर्स, रिसर्चर्स, रवि रोशन जैसे हमारे भाई जो वाकई में इस देश में रोशन ख्याली को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए क्या कुछ कर रहे हैं, तो और आप जैसे सारे लोग जो हमारे इतने सम्मानित डिग्निटरीज जो वाकई में एजुकेशन का काम आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं, और शायद उस तरह की बहुत सारी बच्चियां जिनमें से मेरी एक थी, उसकी दुनिया को बेहतर बना रहे हैं। तो शुक्रिया आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, क्योंकि हम लोग कभी कभी अपने आप को क्रेडिट नहीं देते, और मुझे लगता है कि आप सब लोगों को CEGR को और आप सबको अपने आप के लिए एक ह्यूज राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज इज नीडेड, और अपने खुद के लिए जो आप काम कर रहे हैं उसके लिए आप अपने आप के लिए we have to be so grateful to you, and you are the change makers that we hope to see, which will take us from the 75th year to the 100th year. It's really an honor to be amongst all of you wonderful men and women. Thank you, CEGR. It's always wonderful to be here, as I said earlier, to be with practitioners of this most amazing, people call it education industry, but it's much more than that. It's mission, it's a vision. It is the only thing that will differentiate us from anyone else or any other civilization. Pure education, who we are, what we learn, what we unlearn, and how we relearn all that we have to. Vidya dadati vinayam vinayadayati patratam patratvat dhanma pradoti dhanat dharma tata sukham. विद्या यानी ज्ञान हमें विनम्रता प्रदान करता है, विनम्रता से योग्यता आती है, और योग्यता से हमें धन प्राप्त होता है, जिसे हम धर्म के कार्य करते हैं और हमें सुख मिलता है। और क्योंकि रमज़ान का वक्त है और ईद 3-4 दिन में ही है, कुरान शरीफ में सबसे पहले जो कहा गया है इकरा, read, seek knowledge, educate, be educated. A father can give his son or daughter nothing better than a good education. तो मुझे लगता है इसका जिक्र करना भी इकरा बहुत ज़रूरी है। Friends, as we celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, it is really an opportunity for us to reflect on a nation's journey in education, especially higher education, as it significantly improves a country's living standards. This is also a time, my friends, to share the space by exchanging insights and developing the roadmap ahead for higher education institutions as they prepare for developing high-performing human capital who could drive the world economy. In this new path, attracting talent and intellectual capital from within the country and from around the world can be a potent tool for the new cognitive revolution in higher education ecosystem. We know how important the new education policy has been, and this policy has provided for reforms at all levels of education, right from school to higher education. NEP aims to increase the focus on strengthening teacher training, reforming the existing class system, early childhood care, and restructuring the regulatory framework of education. Friends, it is not just important to work on now decreasing dropout rates, the primary and secondary levels. We all know how we are marking, we are reaching new goals there. But it's very important as we stop the dropout rate and encourage more and more students to seek and have this universal education, to broad base the base and make it bigger so that every child is educated. We have to also look at and this is the responsibility immediately of most of you here, to see the quality of education that is being given at higher levels. How many PhD students do we have? What is the thrust on R&D? What kind of value skills are we providing? What is the differentiation in terms of a qualitative distinction that our students can have, which will really take us to the next path? And if you truly wish, which I do believe all of you wish, that our country, Bharat, indeed has to be the Vishwa Guru, then you all will be the fellow or the Humsafar with whom we will carry on this journey until we reach that very important stage that we have to be, to lead the world in many different ways and to be the Vishwa Guru. My friends, in the last many decades, particularly 2 decades, the higher education ecosystem has gone through a significant growth. Today's day and age and sees challenges with digital transformation. The premise for student centricity and equity in higher education to create sustainable development is undeniable. Access, inclusivity have to be there for individuals to potentially drive a knowledge economy. Higher education equips students with the ability to think critically and to assess and present evidence. Now these skills will last a lifetime, and they will be increasingly in demand as the number and proportion of high-skilled jobs rises. So we have to focus on reforming the current ecosystem, even to a higher level. Our challenges still remain, as we all know, and it's important to address our challenges, which is inadequate infrastructure and funding support. We have to look at those areas. India's spend on R&D, which is 1% of a GDP, is much lower compared to China, Korea. And if you see, when it comes to the world's R&D, US and China are way ahead, and collectively they contribute to about 50% of the research and development in terms of persons, patents, services, apps included. Similarly, if you look at the World University Top 100 rankings, India has yet to make its mark. Indian PhD enrollments in 2019, if you look at the entire higher education institutions enrollment, you will realize that it's much less than what it should be. The enrollments for PhD are only 0.50%, and I think we could do a lot better than that. 202,000 students are enrolled for a PhD degree, which is about 0.5% of a total HEI student enrollment in India. If you look at number of researchers per million population in India, you will realize that it is quite low, which is only at 216, as compared to 4,300 in China, in US, and 1,200 in China. And also, something I want you to look at very seriously, that only 2.5% of our colleges in this country run PhD programs. I keep getting phone calls from everybody. People see me on TV and they make, whoever knows me, somebody's driver wants education for his little girl or a little son in a KD, they ask me to help them. Then I was recently surprised because I get a whole lot of these requests. मदद करा दीजिए दीदी, बहन हमारी मदद कर दो, कहाँ बच्चा जाएगा। और बहुत ही आर्थिक तौर से अच्छे हालात नहीं होते हैं बहुतों के, तो उस हिसाब से वो कोशिश करते हैं कि कम से कम हमें कोई जगह मिले। आजकल बड़ी बच्ची खुशी होती है कि इसके तो निवेदन मुझे आ रहे हैं, हम लोग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन मुझे 2-3 बच्चियों ने फ़ोन किया और कहा कि फला यूनिवर्सिटी में, यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम नहीं लेना चाहूँगी, बहुत बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटी है, उनकी PhD स्टूडेंट्स की संख्या बहुत कम है और हमें PhD में दाखिला चाहिए। तो सोचिए, जब एक वक्त था जब मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ बुनियादी लेवल में स्कूलों की बात करती थी कि वहाँ पे एजुकेशन मिल जाए, और मैं किसी न किसी को फ़ोन करके या खुद से कहकर एजुकेशन के लिए, प्राथमिक शिक्षा के लिए बात करती थी। आजकल लड़कियाँ लड़ झगड़ कर मेरा नंबर लेती हैं, TV में कहीं देखती हैं, DM करती हैं और कहती हैं हम बायोकेमिस्ट्री में हमने किया है अपनी MSc और हमें PhD करना है। तो सोचिए, it's amazing, no? It's just, I mean, when I got a request like that, I was so, it moved me, because it shows that you're going somewhere. So my friends, I don't want to speak too long, but I want all of you to look at this, what I'm saying, seriously. Research, PhD. Improving the quality of education, it's very important. It is going to be a single differentiating factor, and I think all of you can make a huge impact. As we all know, the policy imperatives for enhancement of quality education in India, especially focused to NEP, if you look at that, has been one regulator for all discipline of education except for medical and technical fields. You all know that. More focus on regional language and local curriculum. Now, this is very important. Education is something, knowledge is something that should speak to us, but should come from us. Which is why it's important to speak in a language that our parents have spoken in. All of you represent all of India. So whether it's Oriya, or it's Bangla, or it's Punjabi, I think this new education policy, by having a non-discriminatory attitude towards other languages, and by promoting skills and education in different languages, is putting and making things a lot easier and something that we relate to. So education and relatability is very important. Like I said, more focus on regional language and local curriculum, easy entry, easy exit, more focus on technology. You all are talking about, of course, artificial intelligence, and a lot of new courses are beginning on that. And children are doing a great job, really, because this comes so easily to them. School education in new formats and more focus on mother tongue. Similarly, national credit framework, which is something that we have to look at and work on and even make better, to allow entry and exit in multidisciplines. Friends, before I end, I want to say to all of you, and you know this, the child is the future of a nation. We must enable the child to adapt to the digital world, to create a momentum of real, palpable, tangible changes in our society and the standards of living. It begins with children, our young. Our policy must be nationally inspired as well as people-centric to shape better functioning in providing secure societies, individual initiative and independent thinking. Thank you so much, my friends. Bahut dhanyawad. Jai Hind.